Hello, good morning everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May peace be upon us all. Thank you very much for being here this morning. Welcome to the final day of the 48th IPA Exhibition and Convention 2024. Well, this is the final day and we still have insightful discussions in this plenary session. I believe that everyone here is having coffee already. I saw some people bringing coffee in. So before we start, by the way, my name is Rahma Alia, just in case you joined only today. Yesterday and the day before, we had insightful discussions as well in this room. This stage has been the eyewitness of those insightful discussions. And today we'll be having more as well. But before we start, let me check the water first. Please kindly answer my question. Who had coffee this morning? Very smart, very smart. Who didn't have coffee this morning? Well, still very smart, it's okay. Maybe you had tea or something else. So are we ready for today? Are we energized for today? Thank you very much. Can we hear a big round of applause for this remarkable day today? All right, so we are ready to start with our final day plenary. We will have two sessions before lunchtime, and our first session today is the special one. In order to discover new oil and gas potential, we know that Indonesia just had some discoveries as well, and to increase the oil and gas investment climate in Indonesia, the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources, with SKK Migas since 2022, conducted exploration acceleration study in Indonesia, and this is to support meeting the goal of producing 1 million barrels of oil and 12 MMBOE of gas in 2030. And in this wonderful moment, we're also presenting a book synopsis titled 3 Focus Basins in Western Indonesia, which is the outcome of the exploration acceleration study in Western Indonesia that was conducted in 2023. So now, before we dive in any further, let us direct our attention to the big screen now as we watch this short video. Let's give a big round of applause for this book. It is certainly the effort of the government of Indonesia with SKK Migas, of course, to make Indonesia more appealing as well for investment in terms of oil and gas. And before we continue, I would like now to have our attention to who are going to be the speakers lineup as well this morning, with a title that is going to be discussed in this panel, Unveiling Opportunities, Insights from Recent Studies in Western Indonesia Basins. So there you go, our speakers, remarkable ones, and moderator as well. You may have questions as well and be participative in the session. Just kindly scan the barcode or QR here on the screen, and you may drop your question in the question box. All right, let's now move forward with our event. It is now time to introduce our moderator, somebody who is very familiar with this stage. He came in and out from yesterday. So he has been working in the industry over a period of 36 years, where he has gained extensive experience in the national and international oil and gas industry through a variety of roles, ranging from field operations, subsurface project management and asset management to general management in Indonesia, Australia and Italy. He also has well-rounded experience in managing both newly developed and mature complex assets in onshore and offshore. So without further ado, let's welcome Bapak Ronald Gunawan to the stage.
Thank you, Bu Rafa. Selamat pagi, very good morning everyone. This morning we will have a special session about opportunities in Western Indonesia basins. So for that, I will be accompanied by 6 distinguished speakers, that 3 from the government, 2 from international players, and 1 from the seismic data provider company. So without further ado, I would like to invite the speakers. First, Pak Nanang, Abdul Manaf. Pak Nanang and I basically entered university together, but I will not tell you which year we entered university. So Pak Nanang started his career in Pertamina EP. He holds various positions as a technical and in management position, and then he became president director of Pertamina EP. In 2019, 2020, I think Pak Nanang retired from Pertamina and then become an expert staff of Minister of ESDM. In 2022, Pak Nanang was appointed as Vice Chairman of SKK Migas until February 2024. He's now become a special advisor for head of SKK Migas. So, welcome Pak Nanang. The second speaker is Pak Ariana Soemanto. Pak Ariana is currently director of Pembinaan Hulu in Migas. His background is petroleum engineering, and Pak Ariana basically started his career in Migas, in planning department in Migas. So basically the presentation from Migas ESDM is basically prepared by the team of Pak Ariana. So his career, before his current position, he was appointed as chairman of Lemigas, if you guys know the Lemigas, where he held the position until 2024 before he was appointed as a director of Pembinaan Hulu Migas. The third speaker is Pak Faisal, Teuku Mohamad Faisal. So Pak Faisal has a specific, career in the oil and gas. He started his career as in operations, and work for various international company in Indonesia and also in overseas. We were in the same company in 2011, in HES, Indonesia at the time. And he was appointed as head of BPMA in 2019. Previously, he was the deputy planning for BPMA. So welcome, Pak Faisal. The fourth speaker is Adnan Omar Bu Fateem. Adnan is a senior vice president operations and technical of Mubadala Energy, where he's responsible for leading the global technical assurance activities in Mubadala. He joined Mubadala in 2010 and with various positions in exploration area, and recently he led the global digital transformation process in Mubadala as a chairman of Digital Transformation Committee. Pak Adnan holds a BS degree in geology from United Arab Emirates University in Abu Dhabi. So welcome, Pak. The fifth speaker is Pak Azli Abu Bakar. Pak Azli is the head of Basin and Petroleum system in PETRONAS, where he responsible for evaluating and identifying new exploration opportunity in PETRONAS worldwide. He joined PETRONAS in 1999, and he's basically involved in various studies, it prospects and maturation regional studies in various basins in the world. So Pak Azli holds BS, MS, and PhD from Imperial College in London. Welcome, Pak Azli. And the last one is Denny Chan. Denny is director of Asia for TGS multi-client base in Perth, where he basically covering business area in India, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Malaysia, Timor-Leste, and other area in Asia. He's graduated from University of Western Australia, and he's traveling too much, that's what he said. So, welcome, Pak Denny. Okay, without further ado, I will start our session with a presentation from Pak Nanang. Please, thank you.
Test. Okay. Thank you, Moderator, Pak Ronald Gunawan, for giving me his time and this opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, very good morning, selamat pagi, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me share several important findings in Western Indonesia Basin, specifically North and South Sumatra Basins and Northeast Java Basin. After we accomplish integrated study have been done in the last year, 2023. And we will share the report. Symbolically, we would like to convey the report to Director of Upstream, Director General Oil and Gas, Ministry Energy and Mineral Resources, Pak Ariana, then here. And then the second to the President of IPA, Pak Yuzaini, in the end of this session. Next slide, please. Based on our result of the study using detailed evaluation approach for each sub-basin, comprises tectonic setting, petroleum system, geological concept, basin modeling, and statistical analysis, then we conclude that for the North Sumatra Basin, comparing to the very big volume, then the North Sumatra Basin is still underexplored, especially in the offshore deepwater areas. Several exploration discoveries with very significantly resources, such as at Timpan 1 exploration well drilled by the Harbour Energy, and Layaran 1 well drilled by Mubadala, will unlock Oligocene play and expected will trigger other discoveries in this area. And Mubadala just announced the second big discovery through Tangkalo 1 exploration well to prove the big potential hydrocarbon in this area. In South Sumatra Basin, different compared to the North Sumatra Basin, South Sumatra Basin mostly located in the onshore area, and based on the exploration and production activities, so the basin is categorized as the mature field, mature basin. Even though it is a mature basin, but until now, we still continue have exploration discovery in Sumatra Basin. Even relatively smaller resources, less than 30 MMBOE, such as South Anggur Selatan exploration well drilled by the Seleraya, and Wilela exploration well drilled by Pertamina EP in year 2022 and 2023. In the Northeast Java Basin, relatively similar to South Sumatra Basin in terms of the exploration discovery. In the Northeast Java Basin also, we still have exploration discovery such as Hidayah 1 exploration well drilled by the PETRONAS, with significantly enough of the oil reserve, and plan of development has been approved. And I believe that currently still ongoing, preparing for the EPC. And Colibri 1 exploration well as gas discovery drilled by the Pertamina EP in year 2022. So the exploration activities in Northeast Java Basin is still continuing attractive to discover more oil and gas reserve there. Next slide, please. Ladies and gentlemen, let me continue by explaining more detail of result of the study for each basin. In the North Sumatra Basin, more than 8 billion barrel oil equivalent in place resources has been discovered in the North Sumatra Basin, but it is still considered as underexplored area. More than 9 billion barrel oil in place, yet to find, has been identified to be discovered by future exploration activities. Early Miocene Pu2 limestone is considered as the mature reservoir target, but still has opportunity to discover new reserve in this formation. Timpan 1, Layaran 1, as I mentioned before, in Oligocene, discovery in Oligocene Prapat or Bampo equivalent formation are the high impact discoveries and expected will be followed by other discoveries located in the north part of Paselo or Pasé subbasin. Deeper section of the onshore Tamiang subbasin is still underexplored, masked by overpressure zone. This is one of the opportunity to be followed by intensively exploration activities with improving drilling methods to overcome the overpressure issues. Tampur formation, still the Oligocene carbonate at Malacca Shelf is considered as underexplored also and may hold very significant undiscovered volume. Over 500 million barrel oil equivalent recoverable contingent resources have been discovered, but they are still remain undeveloped. CO2 content and overpressure issues are still remain challenged to unlock the hydrocarbon potential in this area. Ladies and gentlemen, for the South Sumatra Basin, there are more than 18.7 billion barrel oil equivalent in place resources has been discovered in the South Sumatra Basin. And there are more than 350 discoveries has been made by previous exploration activities. Also, we still have
11.4 billion barrel oil resources in place yet to find have been identified as yet to be discovered. Two main underexplored play, namely fracture basement and basin center reservoir. Both plays require 3D seismic new data to define and determine the best drilling target. There are 360 million barrel oil equivalent recoverable resources have been discovered, comprises 50 exploration discoveries, are still remain undeveloped. Almost similar to the North Sumatra Basin, that in the South Sumatra Basin, we still have a challenge regarding high CO2 content. Northeast Java Basin, there are more than 10.3 billion barrel oil equivalent in place resources have been discovered in the Northeast Java Basin, and they are still considered as underexplored areas too. And there are also 9.9 billion barrel oil equivalent in place yet to find. The existing play, such as Kujung Limestone Formation, is still continuing to contribute to significantly volume of discovery resources. The discovery of Hidayah 1 and Kolibri 1 exploration well will be open up the potential of the Paleogen Reservoir as an attractive exploration target. The newly identified sub-basin, we give a name as the Pagerungan sub-basin. Over-exploration opportunity supported by hydrocarbon show at the surrounding wells have been drilled. CO2 content and then overpressure zone are still remain challenge to explore and discover new hydrocarbon potential. Next slide, please. Ladies and gentlemen, to complete my session today, please allow me to convey several takeaways or conclusions are as follows. Western Indonesia Basin, in this case represented by the North Sumatra Basin, South Sumatra Basin, and Northeast Java Basin, are still attractive for exploration as new discoveries start to unlock underexplored play in proven prolific basins. Several open areas have been identified as potential future breeding ground. Underexplored play are identified both in open and active working areas, and hopefully existing operator will optimize this potential by follow-up further detailed exploration opportunities in their working acreage, including in acquisition of new data to maturize such potential. Data availability and quality remain a challenge, in particularly in onshore and transition areas, where hydrocarbon resources may still undercover. And the last, SKK Migas need to find ways to ensure our discovery can be developed for the benefit both government and contractors. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that's all my presentation, and thank you very much for your attention. Selamat pagi, good morning, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Pak Nanang, for the insightful presentation. Before we go to the next speaker, I want to ask you one question, and then I think Q&A will be open later after all the presenters already presented their materials. So the first question, the question that I will ask to you, that's related to the team that you lead in ESDM, the exploration studies team, right? So we know that Western Basin, Western Indonesia basins, already been studied by so many companies and also institutions. So basically, what's new? Apa yang baru?
Okay, thank you, Pak Ronald, for your question. So many things, yeah. The new, our finding in the Western Indonesia. Many people mention that the Western Indonesia is the mature basin, yeah. Looks like no more opportunity to find the significant volume for the new discovery. And then all the experts mentioned as well that Western Indonesian is the oil prone. But actually, after we do the very detailed study, I think Western Indonesia, not only oil prone, but gas as well, yeah. And proved by the latest exploration well, Layaran 1, Timpan 1, and then Tangkalo 1, yeah. And then previously we produced Arun more than 14 TCF. So proof that gas there in Western Indonesia. In South Sumatra as well, we have the Lembak, Musi Barat, Musi Timur, and then Tundan, all produce gas, and even transport to the West Java using the subsea pipeline, something like that. So the big difference compared with the previous study, yeah, in our study, endorsed, especially from the minister itself, yeah, because Pak Arifin is the minister, is realized that why our national production, oil and gas, decline, because we have no new development, yeah, result from the exploration activity. So that's why when the first time I joined with the Ministry Energy and Natural Resources, the first task, how to promote the exploration activities in Indonesia. And after the several years, so I think we can see the progress, yeah. And then, yeah, we are very thanks to Mubadala, Harbor, ENI to discover the very significant volume of the gas. And looks like the more promising, yeah, to find the others discovery in Western Indonesia. And Eastern Indonesia, followed by the joint study, several big companies come to Indonesia and interested to spend for the invest in Eastern Indonesia. So the others, we use the very huge data, yeah, and we can access to all data held by the operator, and then in MDR, even support from the Badan Geologi, Migas, and all. So we use the very good integrated data. So that's why I believe the result of the study will be integrated, comprehensive. Even we provide as well, not only the technical, but risk assessment, and then we propose as well the fiscal term to government. So please, Pak Ariana, involve our team to provide the next bidding round. Thank you, Pak.
Okay, thank you, Pak Nanang. So I think that's the time for Pak Ariana to say something about, for your presentation.
Check. Okay. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Bapak Ronald Gunawan, distinguished speakers, good morning, selamat pagi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. On behalf of the government, please allow me to share the data and also the government policy for strengthening the oil and gas sector, especially for boosting the exploration activities in Indonesia. Next slide, please. Okay. As we see the data, this is data to make you optimistic about the exploration. Since 2021, there are 21 new oil and gas block has been signed. 21 new block. And then we have the commitment exploration around 4 triliun rupiah. This is exclude the exploration commitment from the extended contract. It's around 11 trillion. So we have 15 triliun rupiah since 2021 for exploration. This happened because the government prepared the new terms and conditions, more attractive policy since 2021. And then you can see the next slide. Next slide, please. Okay, this is the next slide because regarding to this topic, like Pak Nanang Abdul Manaf said this is the topic about the potential in the western area. We can see that among 21 blocks that has been signed since 2021, most of them are in the western area. Only Mubadala block in the eastern area. So western area still have big potential, while we, in the same time, we are also preparing blocks in the eastern. One of the improvement that we make is we also give interesting split, as you see in the table on the right top. We give split up to 50% for contractors for gas blocks. And also we already know that those 21 blocks are obtained from direct offer and regular tender. Let we see the direct offer and regular tender statistic. The next slide, please. Okay. As we can see that the direct offer success ratio is 76%. And the success ratio from the regular tender in 21%. So we highly recommend the contractors do the joint study for the direct offer, and the government, of course, will fully support in many positive ways. And then we can see how about the direct offer or study map status, the latest status. Actually now we have 27 area direct offer from joint study. As you see, the data based on this map, most joint study area again are located in the West Indonesia. 57% in the West area, the rest in the Eastern area. The other block will be over in the bidding round after the joint study completed. Again, we have to remember that we have 27 area from joint study. And how about the regular tender? We have also around 27 area from regular tender. So now we have 54 potential blocks that the government have. The next question is this the 54 area, is it good? Is it interesting or not? Additionally, we already prepared the policy for exploration for those 54 area. This policy made in 2021. First policy, we have the new terms and condition of contracts, TNC, that apply from 2021. The number one, you can see that PSC type, we have cost recovery and gross split, you already know. This is the proof that we adapt. We are no longer obligate the gross split like the previous one. The second one, the improve of PSC terms and condition, you can see the split up to 50%, and also the we give lower FTP, DMO price, minimum signature bonus, and no mandatory for relinquishment. And also for cost recovery, no selling and block basis. And we also give the cheaper bank guarantee compared to the previous tender. And then also we have we can do direct offer without joint study. And then number 5, we can see that we have the exclusiveness for unconventional hydrocarbon, like it can be carried out by existing conventional contractor. And the study of conventional can be as an operating cost. And also we have the another policy, next one. Okay. We have also exploration privilege, like number 1, we can see that there are opportunity to shift exploration commitment to open area. You may be already aware about this, but some of contractors may not aware about this. And the second one is data membership as the operating cost. And then you can see that the 4th one, we also give the extension of the initial 6-year exploration period. This is not new. But number 5, this is the good one. Additional exploration time atau tambahan waktu eksplorasi. As you can see that any find the discovery 5 TCF because also this additional exploration time. Without this privilege, I'm not sure any will get this 5 TCF because we give the additional exploration time. This is the part that the government give the privilege to the contractors. And also, number 6, the extension period from POD. Sometimes we give the policy, we can, in some contract there are 5 years time for POD, so sometimes we can give the policy to extend that period of time. And then we also have the policy for the next slide. Okay, we also have the upstream incentive, like you already know. We will little bit make sure that the contractor gain the attractive IRR around maybe like up to 50.5% through the improvement split, improvement FTP, DMO full price, investment credit, accelerated depreciation, and so on and so on. You already know. And the status as of now is there are 12 contractors have received this incentive, and the 10 others are on progress. And also we have the upcoming policies. At least we have 2 regulations ongoing. The first is the new simplified gross split, and the second one is the procedure of CCS development. Again, on behalf of government, we invite all the contractors to do exploration massively in Indonesia. And I hope this presentation, you can feel that the government adapt. The government accommodate the appetite of the investor. We feel you. We assume that how about if we are in the investor side? But of course, we still have to make the fair position between the national interest and the investor appetite. And then finally, I also want to appreciate the evaluation of Western area conducted by ministerial team led by Pak Nanang, Abdul, Manaf, and also Tim 9, and also the DJN Migas team that always prepare the bidding process, and university, and also stakeholders, and also the member of WA Group penawaran wilayah kerja Migas. Together we make exploration attractive again. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Pak Ariana. Before we move to the third speaker, I want to ask you one question. You mentioned about the new gross split, new simplified gross split. I think in industry we have heard about that one for I think the last more than 1 year. So what's actually the status right now? And and then when you expect it will be released by the government?
Thank you, Mr. Ronald. Actually, I also agree that while I checked in my directorate, it started around last year, around like May 2021. And then the status now, yesterday, our team is give the last draft to SKK Migas and processing to approve by minister. And then we need to send this draft to Ministerial of Law. So the process is there.
So now in the final stage already.
The important thing, the substance is already fixed. The substance is like there are in the gross split, previously gross split, we have around 13 component of variable component. Now we have only 5 variable component. The first one is field reserve amount, the amount of the field, and then the field location, is it onshore or ultra depth or something like that, and field infrastructure availability, is it infrastructure available, potential available, or not available. The other 2 component are also the same, oil price and gas price. And there are also the interesting split for unconventional oil and gas. I think that's all.
Yeah. Thank you. Now we go to the third speaker, Pak Faisal. Your time.
morning, selamat pagi, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today. I will be presenting a narrative highlight about the significance of resources management in Aceh for shared prosperity. Next slide, please. I will start to present to all of you the establishment of the BPMA, Aceh Oil and Gas Management Agency, a pivotal institution founded on several legals based on to ensure effective management of oil and gas resources in Aceh. Let's delve into the legal foundation that underpin the formation of BPMA. The MU Helsinki boldly assert Aceh entitlement to 70% of the proceeds from all hydrocarbons, reserve and natural gas resources within the region and the theoretical waters. Article 160 of Law Number 11 of 2006 empowers Aceh to govern its own affairs, including the management of its natural resources. Furthermore, Regulation Number 23 of 2015 established a framework for joint management of oil and gas resources in Aceh between the central of government and local authorities. Crucially, Article 13 of regulation assigned the BPMA with the pivotal role of overseeing corporation contract for oil and gas upstream business activities. Then next slide, please. In this second presentation, this one I am also excited to briefly explain to you the history of exploration in North Sumatra Basin, that we call NSB of Aceh. Despite its long history, NSB faces challenges in recent exploratory efforts, particularly offshore, where significant potential remain untapped. Early exploration activities focused on onshore portion, with milestones such as the discovery of the Telaga Said oil field in 1885 and the Rantau field in 1929. However, it was the monumental discovery of the Aran field in 1971 that truly put NSB on the map. This giant field, boasting about 16 trillion cubic feet of gas and 730 million barrels of condensate, marked on turning point in the region's exploration journey. The shallow offshore water also delivered significant discoveries, such as a North Sumatra offshore area in 1972, which yielded 2 TCF of gas and 16 million barrels of condensate. In addition to the North Sumatra Basin, we also have the Sibolga Basin. The exploration saga of the Sibolga Basin traced back to the pioneering effort of Dutch geologists in the late 1930, fast forward to the late 1960 and the early 1970, when Union Oil Company embarked on a bold exploration campaign. Acquiring extensive through this seismic data and drilling multiple exploration well, this period marked a significant leap forward in unlocking the basin potential with several gas discoveries. The momentum continued in 1990 as Caltech intensive exploration effort deploying cutting-edge seismic technology and drilling technology also multiply exploration well offshore and onshore as well. Today, we have 2 oil and gas blocks in Aceh conducting exploration activities in the Sibolga Basin area. Next slide, please. In this third slide, the next presentation, a map showing the potential within the North Sumatra Basin area. There are 90 discovery wells out of the total of 545 exploration wells, over 8.6 billion barrel oil equivalent in place. Hydrocarbon resources has been discovered over 9 billion barrel oil equivalent yet to be found. Next slide, please. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in this slide showing recent exploration activities conducted in North Sumatra Basin, it also outlines several exploration activities planning for the coming years. This one, I will show this only for onshore under our BPMA regulated. From the period of 2021 up to the present, there have been 4 exploration wells spread across 3 oil and gas working areas, namely South Block A, Andaman 3, and B, additionally, a 3D seismic survey covering an area of 250 kilometers has been conducted. In the future, until 2026, we have planned several exploration activities, including 2 exploration wells and 3D seismic survey covering more than 1,500 kilometers square spread across 4 oil and gas working area. Next, please. Here, I would like to present the latest information on the oil and gas working area operating within the territorial jurisdiction of Aceh, including 4 exploitation blocks, 3 exploration blocks, and 1 joint study area. Additionally, we would like to inform you that 3 are currently 2 idle oil and gas blocks, namely the Arakundo block and the Seramo block. Next, please. All right, in this closing, I would like to express my gratitude to all of you and your attentive participation in today's presentation. We have explored various facets of our endeavors in oil and gas sector, from the historical exploration effort in the North Sumatra Basin to the current and future exploration activities planned in Aceh and beyond. As we conclude, let us remember that the journey of exploration and development in the energy sector is not just about uncovering resources, but also about fostering sustainable practice, promoting economic growth, and ensuring well-being of community. Once again, thank you for timing and attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Faisal. Based on your presentation and also, my analysis, because Medco is also operated in Aceh. I think Aceh still has a promising potential for oil and gas, both onshore and offshore. So, can you share with us about the current effort from BPMA and also Aceh government to attract and support more investment in Aceh?
Thank you, Pak Ronald. Honestly speaking about our effort, especially for BPMA and our government in Aceh, for supporting oil and gas investment in Aceh, also our government, especially our governor and the BPMA have been working to attract investors to region oil and gas sectors. This is effort what we are providing some various incentive design to make oil and gas project more appealing. Also, one significant incentive is the extension some exploration period, allowing the companies to continue their exploration activities. The original period, this policy aimed to give company ample time to fully evaluate the potential of their exploration area, thereby reducing the risk associated with short-term exploration investment. This particular investment already we give has already been granted to several companies. For example, including Repsol Andaman BV, latest also Zaratek NV, and the last is KRX Energy Pte Limited. This extension enables companies to better manage their operation and also ensure thoroughly exploration. That's all, Pak Ronald.
Okay, thank you. I think it's clear enough. The next speaker is Pak Adnan. Time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Salamat Baki. I hope I pronounced it correctly. I was exercising the entire night. So, okay. Thank you for your kind feedback regarding the Western Indonesian basins, and it's a pleasure to be here with you today to share our perspective. Mubadala energy, and there is no better time for us than this time to discuss and share our experience in the Andaman in particular. We in the clip that have been presented before we start over here, they have showed 22 and 23, but we are also happy with the 24. We have just announced on Monday our second discovery with our partner Harbour in the South Andaman, Tankulu 1, which is a multi-TCF. So congratulations to our team, exploration team, and also congratulations to the Indonesia government. Before I take you, let me go to the next slide. Next slide, please. Yes. Let me provide context for the story and spend a moment introducing Mubadala Energy. Probably you have heard this name in last year and in the past few weeks, with the discoveries and so on. Not really sure if everyone know about Mubadala Energy, but we are a leading international energy company with a diversified portfolio of operated and non-operated assets. We are a wholly owned subsidiary of Mubadala Investment Company, which is owned by the government of Abu Dhabi. And this is giving us the nature that we are. Hello? Yes. There's something, I don't know, but maybe firework or something. Okay. I think it's maybe this one. Can you keep this with you? Thanks. It's okay. You can do that. Thanks. So we are owned 100% by the government of Abu Dhabi, and this is give us a special nature that we are looking for strategic relationship and long term, and this is something that we do appreciate. So we are in Indonesia for a long term for sure. As you see in the slide, in Indonesia, we were present since 2008, and currently we are operating 3 PSCs. We have Sebuku with the producing Ruby gas field, and also in the offshore Aceh, we are an operator in the South Andaman and also Andaman 1. In Andaman 2 also we have a non-operated equity and the block operated by our partner Harbour. Since October 2013, our Ruby field supplied gas for the domestic market and has achieved over 290 BCF of cumulative production in its 11 years of operations. We have achieved this while maintaining an exceptional safety record with no LTI. So since 2011 up to date, 0 LTI, and this is a remarkable safety achievement, and we are also very proud of this key milestones. Again, in recent months, we have made a sizable discovery in the South Andaman. We have drilled in 2023 Layaran 1 and discovered a multi-TCFs. This week, we have announced Tankulu. Also, it's another remarkable achievement and also a multi-TCF discovery. And we found these as game-changing discoveries and potentially transformative for Indonesia energy ecosystem and also in the region. This underlines our commitment to Southeast Asia and to Indonesia in particular. And we see Indonesia as an important gas hub and playing and will play also in the future a very critical role in the region and gas ecosystem globally. Next slide, please. Yes. So gas is part of Mubadala energy strategy, and we see gas as a key role, as a bridge fuel to energy transition. Gas is 50% less carbon emission comparing with the coal, and with the presence of very good infrastructures all the way from receiving facilities to consumers, we consider gas as a low-hanging fruit of the energy transition, especially when you consider that 55% of electricity production in Southeast Asia comes from coal-fired power stations. Second, we must meet, and this is a responsibility to all the players in the industry, we must meet increasing demand as efficiently and safely as possible. When you look to Southeast Asia, the forecast speaks for themselves. There is material demand, and the prediction shows that it will be over 60% increase in incremental gas demand to 2050. For Indonesia, only robust economic and population growth is driving LNG demand, with electricity demand growth predicted to rise by 65% by 2023. So we see an opportunity, and also we see the supply-demand gap that is happening in future. So whatever we do in terms of current discovery is an opportunity for us to play an effective and an important role in the ecosystem. Thirdly, if we accept the transition must accelerate, we must also ensure it is equitable and realistic. Affordability, reliability, and safe energy is a huge driver of development and progress. Next, please. Yeah, we are playing an important part in the energy transition in a balanced and realistic way. And one of the most important factors in our story that we have built our plan around a clear strategy of the future, which falls into three pockets as you see here in the slide. The first one, focus on gas as a bridge fuel, and this is very important. The good thing, Mubadala energy portfolio consists of 70% gas-weighted portfolio and assets. So this is really positioned Mubadala energy quite well when it comes to energy transitions in future. A commitment to explore new energy areas such as blue hydrogen, CCUS, and the geothermal. We have made an important steps in past few months, and we have signed a joint study agreement with Pertamina Geothermal. And we are so excited about the geothermal business over here, capitalizing on our capabilities as an operator in the country. Next, please. Yes, this is my last slide, and as you see, Mubadala Energy is the largest net acreage holder in the area. And in fact, our story and history in the Andaman is not, it didn't happen a few years ago, but people, they have heard only about the discovery 23, 24, but even before 2010, we were looking to this area and we have studied it. We were very patient, awaiting the right moment. And the moment the multi-client seismic was available, we looked at the data, in fact, and it looks much more promising than anticipated. We have done remarkable activities with our partner, Harbor, drilled Andaman 2 in 2022 and discovered Timban. It was a play opener. And following that, we have several activities, and we succeed to deliver Layaran and Teuku. So it is an exciting time to be in the energy sector and playing an important role in energy in Indonesia ecosystem overall, and an exciting time to be here also in Jakarta. I'm seriously very happy to be part of the IPA. With this, I would like to thank you for the opportunity to speak and look forward continuing the conversation over here or also at our stand. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adnan. So Adnan, you talk about overall Mubadala company strategy, how to address the energy transition. and also your discovery in Aceh, right? So I want to ask you, with the 11 TCF of gas discovery in Aceh, what next?
I think we are currently discussing and exploring several options, but we are looking also to develop a balanced approach where we need to think about exploiting the discoveries. Here we are talking about Timpan, about Layoran, and about also Tankulu, but also in parallel, we are not going to lose the momentum. We will continue also exploring and appraising and trying, to fully explore and exploit at the same time the entire basin. We are very excited and very happy, and our management are supportive to accelerate the development. And also we have seen from Indonesia side, SKK Migas and DG Migas, they are putting a task force to accelerate developing, and this is a very good sign. And from our side and also our partner, Harper, we are ready to and commit to accelerate and provide and secure the energy in the North Sumatra for domestic and also explore potential LNG export as well.
Thank you.
Most welcome. Thank you.
Azli, your time. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi. Good morning. First of all, thank you very much, IPA, for inviting me on behalf of PETRONAS to talk about, or to be one of the panel in this session talking about, exploration in Western Indonesia, and I think Indonesia in general. Respected speakers, colleagues, members of the audience, PETRONAS has been in Indonesia for 22 years. This year, PETRONAS is celebrating 50 years of our existence. So 22 years in Indonesia is actually quite, I think, remarkable. Almost half of our life, we are exploring in Indonesia. And Indonesia has, or basins in Indonesia has taught us a lot about, how to explore in the world as well. Because as a geologist, if you look at the basins in Indonesia from west to east, the diversity of the place and, the opportunities are vast. And, you almost can say that, if you can explore in Indonesia, you can explore the world. Next slide, please. So I'm just going to show you just one slide. I have only one slide, just to demonstrate, our journey in Indonesia. You can see that our presence in Indonesia now goes beyond Western Indonesia. We started ourselves with East Java, so blocks that we got about 22 years ago, and we expanded from there. From Ketapang, and we got North Madura 2, and now we have North Ketapang as an operator. We are also involved in other areas as non-operators. We have offshore Madura, we have Jabung and Sakakemang, and Natuna Sea Block A as non-operators. So recently, we have expanded ourselves to East Indonesia. I guess East Indonesia is probably the last frontier in this region, and we are very happy to have another block that we are operating in East Indonesia in Bobara as an operator. So our strategy in Indonesia is actually two-pronged. We look at both oil and gas. In our upstream strategy, the two elements is actually we are looking for differentiated oil. So these are the oil that is low cost, low carbon, and meet our ESG targets. Also, we are not shy from gas as well. I mean, traditionally, PETRONAS has been, we have more resources in gas than oil, so it's about 60-40. So Indonesia is also the same. Our blocks in Jabong, for example, Sagakemang, and offshore Madura are all gas prone. So since we are upstream, for gas we do have to collaborate with our downstream partners. As you know that PETRONAS is an integrated oil and gas company. So our partners in gas business, in new energy, for example, is our close collaborators, especially for gas. And the recent blocks that we got in Marcella as well, that demonstrate our pledge towards developing more gas resources for Indonesia. I guess for the past 10 years, we can see that Indonesian Basin has delivered more, I think probably better than expected results. With the discoveries, that our colleague in Mubadala have made recently, in Layaran, in Tengkulo, that they demonstrate that all these basins that was almost forgotten, before, still can generate. And of course, bukan masuk bakul angkat sendiri ya, tapi PETRONAS discoveries in Hidayah, for example, in Eastern Java also demonstrate that although East Java is considered as a mature basin, but you can still have more new plays, new resources to be discovered. And this is what PETRONAS as a company aspire to in Indonesia. That's why we are still going for to explore for new places, new areas, and that's hence we got ourselves into Mubadala in eastern Indonesia, and hopefully this will be bearing a success. Of course, there are many challenges in exploring in Indonesia. One of the major challenges, I think, as an explorer is actually access to data, especially in eastern Indonesia. We still have lack of data in some areas in eastern Indonesia. So therefore, collaboration with Indonesian government, authorities, Pusdatin, as well as multi-client companies such as TGS, PGS, and others, is going to be very important and very significant in pushing the next boundary of exploration. I guess that's for all for now. There'll be some question and answers afterwards. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pak Azli. Pak Azli, in your role in PETRONAS, you involved in the, you look at all the basins around the world, right? My question to you is, look at Indonesia. What's specific about Indonesia?
What's
From
special?
Yeah.
What's special, yeah? Indonesia is very special to us, especially in PETRONAS. I've worked in basins all the way from Canada all the way to Australia, a little bit of New Zealand, and you see the diversity of plays, of tectonic regime, of petroleum system in Indonesia is superb, and that's actually what makes us as explorer excited about the work that we are doing in Indonesia. it enhanced also our view of the subsurface, of the petroleum system, and it actually helped us in exploring in other parts of the world as well. So that's what makes us keep coming back.
Unfortunately, I'm petroleum engineer, so I cannot. Okay, the next speaker is Dani. You want to sit here or just go? Okay, time is yours.
Right, so selamat pagi and good morning to everyone. So firstly, thank you for inviting me to this panel discussion. I'm very honored to be sitting alongside such esteemed industry experts. So yeah, firstly, I'd like to thank Migas, SKK Migas, Pusdaten, and Hagi as well for their support of TGS, without which TGS would not be what it is today in Indonesia. So TGS has been successful in Indonesia precisely because of you. So next slide, please. Next slide. Right, so I'd just like to quickly summarize some of the key differences between proprietary and multi-client data for those who aren't familiar. So this is not an exhaustive list, but just some of the key fundamental differences. Proprietary data is where a single entity pays for the acquisition and or processing of the seismic data, whereas multi-client data is paid for by the multi-client company, typically achieved through a combination of industry funding and its own investment as well. So if you look at the map, this is an example of a multi-client data set over East Java and Kutai basins with a 3D volume exceeding 380,000 square kilometers. Now, a single E&P company is unlikely to have the resources or budget justification to undertake a project of this scale by itself. So a multi-client company such as TGS would be able to pool resources from industry to create such a product at a price point that is lower than what a single E&P company would pay. In addition, the proprietary seismic data would not be available to industry, whereas the multi-client seismic data will be available to any interested party for a license fee, similar to how we license Microsoft Windows or Adobe Acrobat. So we don't really own Microsoft Windows or Adobe. We have a license to use such software. And some of us arrived in Jakarta on a plane with many packages, which you'll be able to afford your own private jet. So in this analogy, multi-client is similar to how the airlines funding from multiple passengers to create flights that are more affordable for everyone. So other key characteristics of proprietary and multi-client seismic projects are, now typically multi-client seismic projects are larger in volume than proprietary projects. And this benefits not just the multi-client company, but also the petroleum regulator as well. And lastly, tender processes are not typically required for multi-client projects, but of course there's exceptions. And by not requiring an extensive tender process, this is one of the ways that multi-client seismic data licensing is able to accelerate the exploration process to drilling of first wells, as we'll see on the next slide. So there are three different timelines shown on this slide. The top one shows the traditional process undertaken by an E&P company. It uses open file data to work up prospective areas. It bids for a block, it gets awarded the block, and it spends time to write a proprietary tender to acquire new seismic data as part of its work commitments. The entire tender process from start to finish can easily take up to 9 months depending on the complexity of the project and contract negotiations, sometimes even longer than 9 months. So if you look at the second timeline, without the need to write the proprietary tender, the process is expedited. And the E&P company is able to save several months from having to perform this step, and it gets to drilling of the first well quicker. So looking at the last timeline, in the event that multi-client data is already available to license, then the timeline is expedited even further. This is the ideal scenario because the data can be used by E&P companies to bid for blocks, resulting in more competitive bids, which ultimately benefits the country, and the entire timeline to first well is brought forward, providing additional time savings. Sometimes the operator is able to get to the drilling of wells without the need for new 3D seismic data where it already exists. So this is often the case in countries such as Malaysia and Australia as well. Next slide, please. So to summarize the benefits of utilizing the multi-client model, as mentioned, there are usually significant time savings. Secondly, because the price of multi-client data is typically lower than proprietary seismic data, this in itself will reduce the cost of entry for E&P companies in terms of finding and developing new oil and gas reserves in countries where the multi-client model is supported. So this means it's able to dramatically improve the success rate of finding oil and gas reserves by ensuring that the data reaches the hands of as many E&P companies as possible. Over the past 4 years, TGS has undertaken around 25 multi-client projects in Asia, mainly in countries such as India, Bangladesh, Malaysia, Timor-Leste, and of course Indonesia. So for this reason, we are seen as, by many, as a key contributor to the hydrocarbon exploration industry. Right, in countries such as Australia and Malaysia, the multi-client model is often used to fulfill proprietary work commitments. So this provides an alternative model for E&P companies to consider. So because of the multi-client model, by virtue of the fact that the data is licensed, this allows the E&P companies to cap their cost and manage their budgets better because as the data is licensed at a fixed rate. And so E&P companies are not exposed to operational risks such as whether standby, infill, or permit delays. They just get the subsurface data and decide on well placement, which is the objective of acquiring new seismic data in the first place. Next slide, please. So I just want to quickly mention that the global seismic industry is changing. Amidst shrinking market share leading to a consolidation of the seismic contractors, of which the numbers are declining as most try to go asset light. There is now more multi-client activity than proprietary seismic activity as E&P companies try to find the most cost-effective way to explore. So based on 2022 research, multi-client activities contributed to greater than 57% of the seismic market. I don't have the numbers for 2024, but today's number is likely to be higher than 57%. So just very quickly, is Indonesia seismic activity following the same global trend? I would say yes, the number of seismic acquisition companies has significantly reduced. Are there more multi-client surveys than proprietary surveys in Indonesia? So this is debatable. Certainly over the past 5 months, there's been a lot of multi-client activity as TGS embarked on a campaign of 6 multi-client projects in Indonesia. But in future, this remains to be seen. The final point, can PSC work commitments be fulfilled via the multi-client model? This is a maybe. This is only allowed if the E&P company has specified that it will license multi-client data. So it is possible, but the vast majority of E&P companies in Indonesia select the proprietary method to carry out their work commitments. There's a number of reasons for this, partly because of existing 30/70 regulations in Indonesia, where a maximum of 30% of a multi-client survey can be carried out over held acreage, but this is a topic for a different discussion. Overall, Indonesia is a strong supporter of the multi-client model, and as the largest historical investor of multi-client projects in Indonesia, TGS is very grateful for your support, and we are very grateful to be part of the Indonesian exploration landscape. Final slide, please. Next slide, please. So I'd just like to conclude on this note that some of the world's most significant discoveries have been found using multi-client data in countries that support multi-client, such as Mexico, Brazil, United States, Norway, and African countries. These examples are just some of the ones we have seen in the Western Hemisphere. Obviously, in Indonesia, we have PGS's South Andaman 3D, which sits over recent discoveries in Timpan 1 and Layaran 1. So this again reinforces the value of multi-client data. I wish to say that I firmly believe that Indonesia's aspirations to accelerate West Indonesia exploration can be supported by the multi-client model, and this is part of TGS's efforts in growing our presence in Indonesia. So once again, thank you for inviting me to this panel discussion, and thank you for listening.
Thank you, Danny, for your presentation. I have one question for you. Because we have Pak Nanang, Pak Ariana, and Pak Faisal on stage, so I just want to ask you one question. This related to the application of multi-client model. So what do you think about the regulatory framework in Indonesia? Is supportive to a multi-client model?
So over the past 4 years, there's been around 12 multi-client projects undertaken in Indonesia, and TGS has undertaken 11 of the 12. So by virtue of this fact, yes, the regulatory framework for multi-client in Indonesia is very good. Of course, there are, every country has its own pros and cons in terms of, and nuances, right, in terms of the multi-client model. And what we try to do is we try to apply learnings from other countries to Indonesia and vice versa as well. For example, we are very active in Malaysia. MPM has very good positives that we try to also bring to Indonesia and vice versa. So yeah, this is very supportive, and so TGS hopes to grow its library in Indonesia over the coming years.
I think one more question. On top of your mind, how many companies in Indonesia that have applied multi-client model?
The multi-client model is, generally speaking, we do not disclose the identities of our pre-funders because we try to keep it confidential. For example, Company A may not like the fact that we tell Company B that is exploring in a particular basin, unless it chooses unless it's happy for us to do so. But I would say that if you look at the sheer number of multi-client projects that we've undertaken in Indonesia over the past 4 years, generally speaking, we are supported by a lot of the major E&P companies.
We have only one question from the audience. Ada? Oh, so basically no questions from the audience. So I just want to, thank everyone, all the presenters. Pak Nanang already started with, to show us what's the potential, what's the study, recent studies have been done in Western Indonesia basins. Pak Ariana show us Pak Ariana and Pak Faisal, what's the effort from the government to basically support the activity and investment in Indonesia. And from the two players, international players, Mubadala and PETRONAS, show us also what the company what they are doing in Indonesia and what the next after, especially for Mubadala after big discoveries in Andaman. And then he provide one of the potential solutions to reduce the time for exploration phase, right? So I think that's a very, good combination, and I hope everybody can, take a message from this session. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Pak Ronald, for leading the session and also wrapping up key items. Yes.
To convey our report to Pak Ariana, representative of the government, and to the IPA president, president of IPA, Pak Yuzaini.
Please go ahead, Pak.
Yep.
All right, so before handing over the books, Pak, actually we have mementos for all the speakers and the moderator. So for now, I would like to invite all the speakers and moderator to take the center stage, to come forward. And for this, we would invite Bapak Abdul Abu Ali to give mementos to our moderator and respectable speakers. So this is a form of our appreciation to all the speakers and moderator to have been discussing very topic, which is unveiling opportunities, insights from recent studies in Western Indonesia basins. Hopefully this is not only the key takeaways that we could put notes to, but also more actionable actions that we can do in the future. Once again, thank you very much to the insights and also have been answering the questions. Hopefully this will be beneficial for all of us. And to the last but not least, our moderator, Bapak Ronald, thank you as well. And let's take this opportunity for a photo session. Let's face the camera and don't forget to smile, of course. In 1, 2, 3. And one more time. 1, 2, 3. Let's give a big round of applause one more time, ladies and gentlemen, for our speakers and moderator. I would like to hold Pak Nanang and Pak Ariana on the stage for the book handover. To Pak Nanang and Pak Ariana, kindly be on the stage. And for the other speakers and moderator, you may return to your seats. Yes, Pak Nanang and Pak Ariana, kindly stay on the stage, and other speakers and moderator, you may return to your seat. And ladies and gentlemen, before we close off today's session, we are delighted to present to you the launching of result of SKK Migas's extensive research. We would like to invite Bapak Nanang Abdul Manaf and Bapak Ariana Soemanto to the center stage, as Pak Nanang will hand the result of exploration acceleration study in Western Indonesia that was conducted in 2023, compiled in the book titled 3 Focus Basins in Western Indonesia, to Bapak Ariana. Please.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of the exploration study team, we would like to convey the complete report, as I mentioned in the session, highlight regarding 3 basins: North Sumatra Basin, South Sumatra Basin, and Northwest Java Basin. It's very complete report and very detailed. We accomplished 2 version, book and then digital version as well. So in this occasion, we would like to convey and invite Pak Yuzaini as well, the President of IPA, and Pak Ariana, Director Upstream, representing of the government.
All right, so first up, Pak Nanang will hand over the book to Pak Ariana. So here it is, the book titled Three Focused Basins in Western Indonesia. Yes, and the second handover of the book will be to Pak Yuzaini as the IPA president. Let's give a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And esteemed gentlemen, kindly take the center stage as well for the photo opportunity, group photo opportunity. Yes, you may show the book to the audience as well and to the camera. Here it is. Nice. Yes, can we hear the warmth of the room by your applause? Thank you so much. Thank you very much all. You may return to your seats. And ladies and gentlemen, we still have one more agenda before lunchtime. So please kindly stay in this Nusantara room.
Will distribute by our team SKK Migas in the SKK Migas booth. So please come to the SKK Migas booth to get the complete report of the study. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Nanang. Yes, so a little of announcement from Pak Nanang. And we will continue with our next agenda in due course. So please stay in this Nusantara room and remain seated as we'll begin our next session with the topic, how upstream oil and gas projects capitalize opportunities in carbon credit. And in the spirit of keeping our agenda flowing smoothly, we are preparing for the next session and we'll be resuming shortly. We're making some necessary arrangements also on the stage as well, so kindly be patient and stay in the room. Once again, please kindly stay in the Nusantara room and be seated as we'll continue our next agenda very shortly.